One thing we've seen as we've worked our way through the Ten Commandments is that they are not always as straightforward as they seem at first. Perhaps no commandment is as complex and difficult to nail down as the sixth commandment's prohibition on killing. Hello, I'm Stuart Baskin, pastor of First Presbyterian Church of Tyler, Texas, and this is your daily devotional for Tuesday, November 26th, 2024. I think we're all aware that languages can involve nuance. Words can have different shades of meaning depending on context, and there can be several words that cluster around a general idea. That's the problem that confronts us with the sixth commandment, traditionally translated as "you shall not kill." Even in English, we have a number of words all related to killing: murder, slaughter, slay, execute, exterminate. And in our modern lingo, we even have appropriated the word off, as when we talk about someone offing someone else. The New Revised Standard Version of the Bible, which I routinely use, renders the sixth commandment, "You shall not commit murder." But this is already an interpretation, not just a translation. The Hebrew word probably includes more than just murder in its meaning, but does it include all killing? I think you can already see the problem. It is difficult to read through the Bible and not conclude that there have been always some exceptions to the general rule of not killing another human being. In the first place, there's war, and in the Old Testament there was plenty of it. And in war, winning a battle comes down to killing enemy combatants. And then there are cases, even within the laws, throughout the laws in Exodus and Leviticus, where it is legal to take the life of someone who has committed certain crimes. Execution seems to be another general exception to the basic command not to kill. All of which is to say, it is not exactly clear what the limits of the command are. If it is an absolute prohibition against taking another human life, then we'd have to become pacifists, all of us. And we would also have to reject capital punishment in any form. But here's the deal. It doesn't look like this is an across-the-board ban on taking human life for the reasons I said just a moment ago. It is clear from Scripture itself that there were exceptions to the general rule. So with that, let's talk about what the commandment is really all about. It begins with the recognition that all life belongs to God. Before Adam and Eve's fall from grace, it seems that even the killing of animals was forbidden. In Genesis 1:29 we read, God said, "See, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree with seed in its fruit. You shall have them for food." No mention of animals for food, at least not yet. But after the flood, we read in Genesis 9, "The fear and dread of you shall rest on every animal of the earth, and on every bird of the air, and on everything that creeps on the ground, and on all the fish of the sea. Into your hand they are delivered. Every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. And just as I gave you the green plants, I give you everything." So, the first thing to know about the sixth commandment is that all life belongs to God, even the lives of animals, though post-flood, using animals as a food source did come into the picture for better or for worse. The second thing to know about the sixth commandment is that its meaning has been the source of debate almost from the very beginning. In recent years, there seems to have been a consensus generated that this is really a prohibition not against just murder and what we would call manslaughter, but also killing for revenge. Obviously, contemporary law does not allow for revenge killing, but it happens anyway. Basically, the sixth commandment is a prohibition for taking another human life out of anger or to gain some financial advantage. I'll be honest, I've never been much of a fan of capital punishment. People who are actually innocent have been convicted and sentenced to death, only to be exonerated later, sometimes after they've actually been executed. Theoretically, capital punishment exists as a deterrent to especially heinous crimes. But if it is, it doesn't seem to work very well as a deterrent. but I'm especially uncomfortable with the presence of the families of victims. That seems to cross a boundary into taking a human life in revenge for an earlier crime. True, the victims' families don't actually participate in the mechanics of the execution, but it still looks a lot like satisfying a desire for revenge, hidden behind the fig leaf of closure. You may disagree with me, of course, and I may be way off base, but the sixth commandment is a powerful reminder that life is precious and that all life ultimately belongs to God. Tomorrow, the seventh commandment gets a little more personal. But for now, may God continue to bless you and keep you in all that you do this day and in all the days ahead.